So actually the next person that I wanted to introduce is someone who is particularly inspiring. His story is incredible. It is very emotional, and I think it lets us open our eyes to like what is out there so much more bigger in the world and how we can be so kind to other people. The first time I got to properly meet Jean, instantly we were such close friends. If anything, maybe even best friends.
No, I'm close.
But the work that I got to see in the communities that him and his team at Alquimico in Colombia work with are such inspirational stories. And it's not just the indigenous communities that they work with, it's not just the farms that they work with, it's every single person that's involved along the way in those stories. And the fact that he shares it with us is so beautiful. I got to experience 5 days, and I wish for the rest of my life I could be in this pocket in Colombia, experiencing the joy and the beauty of not just the food and the culture, but of the people. But he's really built something so beautiful. My heart is so full. For the first time ever on this stage with us presenting, Jean Trinh, everyone.
Buenos días. I would like to say thank you very much to you guys in front of me, because I can really think that I can call you friends, close friends. Most of you guys, I had you guys in Colombia with us, right? Beautiful moment. And soon I will get the rest of the group. This group, but as well, my goal today is to get you all in Colombia with us, please. So, I'm gonna start my presentation, and I would like to say thank you to the whole staff, the organization of Jameson. First time I'm here in Ireland. Amazing organization, amazing hospitality, and I really mean it. And I would like to say thank you, Tony, because I told you like a few minutes ago, you would be the best wedding planner ever. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is really weird name, Jean Trinh. I'm like the famous Vietnamese sandwich called banh mi. Vietnamese background, French name, French education, but with a lot of beautiful ingredients and love from Colombia. My parents, they were Vietnamese. So they were living in the south of Vietnam until the end of the 70s, and they had like business in Ho Chi Minh City. And 4 of my siblings, they were born in Vietnam, right? And back in that time, because of the situation in Vietnam, the communists, they didn't want my parents to give education to their kids, right? Because they were like part of the high society of Vietnam. So my parents, they decided to sell everything they had, to buy a boat and to take family, friends, and a big part of the neighborhood with them on the boat, and they became what they called boat people, right? And they decided to take the boat, and they went to anywhere else out of Vietnam, right? So with the waves, they followed the waves. There were no captain inside. After a few weeks, they reached an island of Malaysia, where many thousands of Vietnamese were. And the goal, once there, was to get someone of the family anywhere in the world to pick the phone. 1978, so it was not like we have mobile phone, right? And after, I would say 6 months, a aunt picked up the phone, and she was living in France. So she said, yes, they are from my family. So they moved there, and after 4 years, I was born. So I have 4 siblings born in Vietnam. Another sister and myself, we were born in France.
And when they went there, so they had no money, nothing, right? So my daddy started to work in construction, and my mom, she was like cleaning the restroom of schools, right? And little by little, they made a little bit of money, they saved money, and the first thing they did was to buy a food truck to make Vietnamese food. So I started in the back of this food truck in hospitality, so I was like 3 years old. Right. And then after the food truck, they saved a little bit of money. They opened a small shop, still Vietnamese food, still me in the back, and then a restaurant, a Vietnamese restaurant as well. And I'm really proud of them because I really feel like after your presentation, they were my first mentors. And they always told us, never, ever work in hospitality. Right? So study, be a good boy, study. So I studied, and I studied in France, right? I studied engineering, so I have my degree in engineering, and I was working in Paris, doing, how do you call that? Restoration of old buildings, right? Really love it, but it was not my passion, right? So I really love drinks, food, hospitality, and I was in charge at the university of the bar of the university, which was like a very high volume bar. And then after years, I really decided to, after some moments in many countries in the world during my university, I went to Mexico and I lived in Mexico. It was in 2002, and I really fell in love with this country and this culture. And I'm not talking about only Mexico, but Latin America, right? So I went back to France, finished my career, I worked a little bit, and I said, I want to be happy in my life. So I took one decision, the best decision ever in my life. I say, I'm going back to Latin America, to the beautiful Colombia. Colombia, I'm going to give you a little bit of context, right? Because who's been to Colombia? So a lot of people to convince. Love that. Colombia, I'll give you a bit of context. So Colombia is this country in the north of South America, right? In here you have Panama. Cartagena is here. You have the rest of South America, and I can tell you that Colombia is the most biodiverse country in the world. So we have the Caribbean, Atlantic, Pacific Ocean. We have deserts. We have mountains. You can be on a beach in the Caribbean, 35 degrees. From the beach, you can see a mountain with snow, 5,400 meters high. Jungle. You have the Amazon. You have a lot of diversity as well, human diversity, because you have a huge background from Africa, right? Some regions of Colombia, they have more than 90%, 95% of African background. We have more than 900 dialects and languages in Colombia, right? We have this influence from Europe as well, right? Because Spanish, French, Italian, whatever, Vietnam. We have as well many people who came from Lebanon and Syria. So, for example, Shakira. Example, Shakira, she looks Lebanese kind of, right? Because she was born in Barranquilla. Barranquilla is here, and many Lebanese and Syrian, they arrived to Colombia and to South America through Barranquilla. So 51 million people, most of them, they live on one side of Colombia, and still you can imagine that in Colombia, in some parts of the country, people have not been connected to the rest of the world. So you have tribes that have never seen people like us, right? So it's still very, very, very wild. So we are based in a city called Cartagena. I decided 12 years ago to move to Cartagena. It's a beautiful city. If you like heat, 35 degrees every day of the year, you love humidity, 99% of humidity. Even myself, I have the same haircut than Maria, like when I'm there. It's very hot, it's very beautiful, it's very colorful. You have like one of the biggest city walls, almost 500 years old town, right? And you have like, it's a 1 million city, 1 million people city, and it's the jewel of the tourism and the history of Colombia. So I show you like, on this picture, you can see how colorful and how beautiful is the architecture in the old town. It's 1 block away from the bar, sorry. I'm gonna talk about this picture. This woman is called, they call them Las Palenqueras. Las Palenqueras, like, they are like the women from the village of Palenque. Palenque is 2 hours away from Cartagena, and is the first free village where slaves escaped from slavery in South America. So today you still have words, food, and the dress as well from many countries of Africa. On the other side, yeah, you see, you go there, you have a lot of street food, fruits, everything. Like in Colombia, we have tons of fruits. For example, I'm going to talk about a community we work with, some farmers. In a very small land, a few farms, they have more than 45 different kinds of mango. Right? You can imagine. So, La Casa, we, before that, when I arrived to Colombia, I had no money, almost. So I have 10,000 US dollar to, muchísimas gracias. 10,000 US dollar to live and to open something, right? So, I went there and I said, what can I do with this money? And back in that time, in Colombia and in Cartagena, drinking a cocktail, to drink one cocktail, you had to work 1 day. The salary of 1 day for one cocktail, for one normal people, right? Very expensive. Why? Because all the cocktails were classic, but classic with ingredients from the US, Europe, wherever, except Colombia. And I said, no way, it's too expensive. So I decided, I did like a lot of research, and I saw that like anywhere in the city you can get fruits, vegetables, amazing stuff, and some spirits as well, right? So working local, I divided this price by 3. So instead of working 1 day and getting one cocktail, at least 3 cocktails, right? You go home happier, right? So I opened this one bar with a fake counter, a Coca-Cola fridge in the back, and a very few jars of this mix of fruits and spirit. And on the first, I didn't know anyone in town, And on the first day, I didn't have posts. It was just like paper and notes and nothing else. And I opened the first day. It was the World Cup 2014 in Brazil. So my concept was just, okay, local product, a screen, and let's do something, and good energy. So we started, we were 2, and every month we were like increasing the bar. And we ended, after 10 months, we were 12 people working there in a beautiful neighborhood. Now, right now I live there, called Getsemani. And I said, but it was really like a backpacker neighborhood back in that time. And I said, I would like to do something else. Like with the few money I saved, I said, okay, I'm going to close that one. And I'm going to go on the other side of the old town where the rich people are, and you have more options, right? So I found after 6 months a house, right? Republican house, beautiful, but it was destroyed. And everybody wanted this house, but they said it's gonna be very expensive, right? Because it's destroyed. And thanks to my parents and thanks to my education, I said, no, it's not gonna be that expensive because I can't pay that anyway. So this house has 110 square meter on the ground floor, same thing on the first floor, and then we have a rooftop. So this is a picture of the bar of the ground floor, right? What you have on your right are jars, the jars we started with, right? And at the beginning it was really empty, really. We started, we were 5, right? 5. And we were doing almost everything. And after a year, we opened, this is a picture, sorry, of the ground floor with some friends, 3 friends. And we made a little bit of money after a year, and we opened the second floor. We were 12 people working. So on the ground floor, we have cocktails, a menu with ingredients from Colombia, always. And on the first floor, we have classic cocktails with ingredients from Colombia as well, and a kitchen, right? We were 12 after 1 year, and after 2 years, we opened the rooftop, and we were 24. And right now in the team, in La Familia, we are, after 9 years, more than 100 in the team. Right. Why? Because people, why are you so many people in the team? Because we have, yes, the operation team, a lot of back office, but we have, that's beautiful because in Colombia we can't get many things from abroad, so we have to make our own many things, right? And we have, it's part of my presentation, I will talk about our farm, right? So in the team we have farmers as well. These are very important characters of the team. On the left, in here, the Haris, she started with us, she was 18 years old, and now she's 27, and she's from Cartagena. She started, she was so shy, and you would see her today, floor manager. She's everything but not shy. They have a lot of energy. They can dance, they can sing, no problem. Part of the game. Natalia, she was a barista. She joined 2019, and she's in charge of the main bar on the ground floor, led by only a team of female bartenders. They have the most beautiful energy ever. In the team right now, I think we have 22 bartenders, and the girls are at least, I would say, 13, 14. And every night, we open every night of the year, 6 p.m., 2 a.m. And we never close because Cartagena is energy every night of the year. Same, Monday as Saturday, right? And Paula, she's really special. Por favor. Paula, she was one of the first 5 members at the beginning of the adventure. And she started as a dishwasher runner, and she has built during the years the whole team, and she takes care of every single person of this big family. And she's my wife. Thank you. They were expecting this moment. High energy, yes. Cartagena has beautiful energy. The bar, we have between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m., we have average every night 1,000 guests. And we have DJs, right? We have 2 DJs inside, 2 DJs upstairs. And I'm going to show you, that's a picture of the bar on a Monday night. I'm this guy. And that's a picture of what the vibe is, because I had this conversation with me. I was like not expecting this when I created the bar. At the beginning of the night, it's kind of quiet. You can eat, you can drink, we can explain, but it gets, how can I say, busy, busy. But always the energy is always positive. In 9 years, I'm really proud of that one. We've never had a fight in the bar, right? So, 1,000 guests. I'm from Paris. I mean, let's do the same in Paris. We will talk about that. This is a picture of the street. Because when we opened, there was no light in this street. And I really believe, like, the community we've built around us, that's the topic of my presentation. Right now, we have all around the bar, you have amazing restaurants, a lot of bars, a lot of beautiful hotels. So you can imagine, like, 10 years ago, no light in this street. And now, a lot of light and a lot of things going on. So the topic of my presentation is create community around a cocktail or in our street, in our city, in our region, in our country, and all around the world, right? So I'm going to start with one example. Look at these beautiful people. Oh, they're together. So we're going to start with something we started in 2017. After a few months, we opened. So we decided to create an event called Lunes de Industria, Industry Mondays, because what was the situation in 2017? On Mondays, it was dead everywhere in the city. And I told you at the beginning of my presentation, people couldn't pay for drink or food. So you were walking every day of the week in a place you couldn't pay what you were making, right? So I really believe that if you don't train your taste, and if you don't meet more people doing the same thing, or even barista, hotels, you can't improve. So we decided to create these events, and we are still the cheapest bar in Cartagena by far, right? And so right now we're selling our cocktails like $9. I think from 50 Best, I would love this award, the cheapest bar. And on Mondays, if you work in the industry, hospitality, you can work concierge, chef, whatever, barista, bartender, DJs. We give you a card, and with this card, you have 30% discount. 30% discount, so you can have a beautiful cocktail of shape, right, for $6. No, another example. You can have a martini from the Connaught on Monday from Giorgio, $6. Because, yeah. So on Monday, what we do is we invite and we organize our guests. Can be guest shift or presentation or whatever, but it's always 30% discount if you're in this industry and 15% discount the rest of the days for you and your family. And on Mondays, we organize, like we had many bars from all around the world because people, sometimes they don't have the opportunity to travel, right? So they meet those guys and they can connect and for a very, very, very good price. So from a day night, right now, the Mondays are the busiest night ever. So you have to be very well trained to work on a Monday, but it's a lot of fun. This one, Mbera Chami, they are a tribe, indigenous tribe I met just after the pandemic at the end of 2020. And I was walking around the farm and I met them. A family, and they make amazing stuff, right? So I asked them, hey, where are you from? Where do you live? We take you there. Awesome, I go with you, I follow you. I went there, and I asked them, hey, what happened to you guys during the pandemic? I mean, what did you do? Stupid question. They live very far away, right? And they sell their craft, but there was no tourism. So they were surviving, dying. And I say, how can we support? So I asked the shaman of the tribe, I say, how can we do something for you together? And they said, we could make like a collaboration. And the shaman of the tribe was wearing one of those necklaces, right? Handmade. For one necklace, it takes 8 days, around 8 days for one person to make one. So for all of you, if you say, can you give it to me? No. Don't ask me. But it's part, since then, of the uniform of all the guys. And every Christmas, they have one. They are all unique. Right? The design is unique. So thanks to this, we can give work to 20 families of Mbera Chami, and those kids, they can go to school thanks to this collaboration, right? Which is very important. I'm going to talk about like a new project right now we're starting. So what was the situation? I was on a square in Cartagena, 2 blocks away from my bar. I was drinking Jameson and soda. I was that close. I was drinking a Jameson and soda, and there was like, I saw like a band, amazing music. I said, what is that? So I saw that. It's from a video from my phone. Say, what is that? So I met the guy, the founder of like a foundation called Fundación Música por Colombia. He started to tell me, hey, those guys, they come from one neighborhood, very humble neighborhood of Cartagena called Nelson Mandela. And he started this foundation 20 years ago, and he told me, you know, the goal of this foundation is to help kids through music with the support of private companies, or yeah. And through music, they're helping the kids to get out of the vice they are living in these neighborhoods. And he told me, I would love to invite you to our neighborhood to show you there what they're doing, the kids. So a few days after, I went there.
Vive en mí y tan escucha más cetro y cantaré hasta vive en mí así nawe y que le cantaba y que la mí así nawe con miles a mí.
Yeah. So we go there and he tells me, look, there are 150 kids from 6 years old to not kids anymore, 20 years old. They don't have anywhere to play, to practice, because they've been kicked out of the previous sponsor because they wanted to give the name of the company to this band. And that's not the goal, right? So they had nowhere to play and to be together. So you see on the next video, you see how the road and the infrastructure in this part of the city is. Look. I love this song. So when you see that, you go there, it's impossible to not cry. How can he? Take you there. Impossible. So, how can I stop? Sorry. So, I think my job right now is to understand or to try to find projects we can help people thanks to the bar, for thanks what we are doing. So I said, okay, there are kids, I can't drink. The goal is not to get them out of this neighborhood. They are from there. They have their family there. They have their identity there, right? So through this program, they help, they follow them to have education. They are the best students in their schools, right? From primary school to university. So, okay, I talked to the founder, I said, how can we help? I would love to. So we are designing right now one menu on the second floor, the classic one, to support the construction of a school for them, right? And a school for music, but as well for bartending, right? So the idea is like usually when you say, Nelson, they come from Nelson Mandela, only bad words, right? So I think it's gonna take us like 6 months to have this project done, but they are for me like the future of Colombia, right? So I'm going to talk about another project I really love. I love them. Asokoman. Asokoman. I'm gonna tell you a few words about this project. Asokoman. They are located, those families, in a region called Los Montes de Maria, which is 3 hours away by car from Cartagena, and this is one of the regions which has suffered the most from the violence in Colombia. What's the violence about in Colombia? So many regions are not very well connected, right? This is an amazing soil and land. So armed groups in the past, they were going to these parts of the country saying, okay, you farmers, indigenous, black people, whatever, you're gonna work for me, you're gonna plant and process what I'm telling you to plant and process, okay? And if you're not happy, you can leave. And if you want to stay, we kill you, right? So it happens in many parts of the country, but that region I suffer a lot. And we had a lot of millions of people moving and crossing the country to other regions. So they are called the displaced people, right? So after the president of Colombia signed in 2016, it's not far away, the peace between armed groups and the government of Colombia, many people went back to their land, but they lost family and friends a lot. They lost culture, they lost dignity, they lost knowledge about what they had and whatever, right? So just after, we were working with some farmers from this region before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, I said, I want to connect again with this region, right? So we went there and we met these beautiful people, and they were like, don't talk to you, I don't know you. Because who are you? Again, you're gonna fuck us, right? Because just before the pandemic, some groups like our friends from Monsanto went there and they said, hey, you don't have anything, take my seeds. I sell you, I charge you later in a few months. Take my seeds. And you go there, you burn the forest, you burn everything around, you plant this, and I come back. So after a few months, they came back, and I say, okay, what do you have? Tons of yuca, kind of yam, and corn, horrible product, but tons. Okay, I give you this, take it. If you don't want it, keep your stuff. So this guy, they were like, oh my God, again, we are fucked. So we show up after this. So impossible to be very friendly, right? And to be, hey, how are you? So we went there and we were like, okay, let's see how we can support you. And we saw at the beginning they had like a very few products, amazing, but a very few. Because sometimes in this region you have one fruit, but one tree. 10 kilos a year. So how can we work with them with the amount of guests we have, right? So I was like, how? Okay, we were buying, like to say, okay, we're buying. But then I said, okay, maybe we can do something else. We can, you send to us the list of the product you have every week, and we buy from you for the staff meal. The staff meal, it's like a small restaurant every night. It's like 60, 70 people eating at the bar. So no pressure on them. I don't ask you to have the exactly same product during the whole year because they can't, right? So we bought from them, and from this, we bought way more. Beautiful, beautiful people. You go there as well, you cry, they're happy, they hug you. Beautiful people. But they don't have, for example, light. They don't have electricity. They don't have water in a region where 6-7 months of the year you don't have water. So it's okay. We have a good relationship, but you go there and they don't have many parts, right? So we were like, oh my God, we want to be able to support them. And years after years, so it was in 2020. We built an amazing relationship, and we saw amazing changes in the community. For example, the women, they were in charge of kids, the house is like a small farm, and nothing else, right? So when we started this project with them, with another friend called Jaime, he has an amazing restaurant in Cartagena called Celele. We went there and we started to buy, and we changed this because thanks to them, the money, it was coming from the house, from the garden. So now they're really proud of this because those women, they couldn't speak. They couldn't say their name. And there is a beautiful moment when we take you there. There is a circle and you introduce yourself. Years ago, not a word. Can't stop them talking. They sing, they dance. They are the leaders today of their community because they have the money and they are 100% entrepreneurs. Right? So I take my friends there, right? And one of my friends, like, she's Colombian. Her name is Karina Soto. Colombian, she moved to Paris, like I think 20 years ago or something, and she opened many venues. I think the most famous venue is Candelaria. And she was so touched by this project, she went back to France and she said, Jean, we have to show this project around. She's part of like the organization of a summit, right? Called Paravere Forum. And every year it goes all around the world and it talks about women doing amazing projects all around the world, right? So we said, okay, let's find someone who can talk and explain this project. So we said, okay, Señora Rosa. Rosa has an amazing, as well, history, but you can imagine, 3 hours away, she doesn't have any car. She has a horse. Montes de Maria, Cartagena is an adventure. And the summit was in Roma. Italy, not Roma, neighborhood of Cartagena. Montes de Maria, Cartagena, it's a huge thing. And we said, okay, let's do this, let's send this paper, whatever. And Rosa from Los Montes de Maria, they won the scholarship. And they are the winner of the Paravere grant, so she went to Roma. Huge thing. Montes de Maria, Cartagena, Amsterdam, Roma. alone, not a word of English. So I had her like the night before, said, I invite you to my house and we're gonna go through all the steps to take a plane. Sounds stupid, but it's not, right? And Rosa, she presented, and she was, years ago, she was the one over there during the education of Atasokoman because she didn't trust anybody. And once she was on stage presenting the project in Roma in front of one of the best journalists in the world about gastronomy, she said, hey, please, come in. There's some seats here. You imagine the difference between Rosa 4 or 5 years ago and Rosa today. So, amazing moments. You have some pictures of Rosa with some friends. And Señora Rosa, she goes back to Montes de Maria, and what happened? The kids, usually, in these territories, they felt that they had no future, right? No future. I can't stay here. But they saw, hey, Señora Rosa, now she's been traveling. She's went to Europe, talking about us, our work, our land. So the kids, they created the nursery, the school of Asokoman, and today there are 50 kids learning about their land, clean agriculture, and Los Montes de Maria. They are as well the future of Colombia. So, still, we go there, no toilet, no light, same story. I talked to my team, I said, look, we can't stay like this. I mean, we have to support them more than this. So, what's the next step? I was like, okay, with one floor, the menu of the ground floor, we're gonna make a menu, and we're gonna support them. How? We went there during month, asking them, every single family, what do you need? Because it's not like sending money or whatever you do. It's like, what do you need in your house, right? And from that, we had 47 projects of infrastructure. And we said, okay, what's the priority? The priority in this part is water, right? So we decided to make this menu called Comunidad, community, right? 23 families, 8 ingredients, 47 projects. So I have a small video to talk about what this menu is about.
This project has mainly seemed to me to be about the coherence and scope of being able to carry out a process. This alliance made between Asokoman and Alquimico, which has been in place in 2021. Today it allows us to work on this project that's supported by a menu that addresses a fundamental pillar, such as having equipment for water harvesting and also for basic sanitation, having a restroom, also having infrastructure for a processing plant that will allow the association to work, to grow, but also provide employment for young people and help improve people's quality of life in the community. Today we also envision this project for the future to improve the quality of life, because much of the infrastructure that will be built, like the restrooms, working on basic sanitation is fundamental. Often in communities we overlook the importance of these products as we lack the infrastructure today boys and girls will benefit, and there will be a better future because having these facilities will improve, for example, agricultural patios and the accumulation and harvesting of water, which is a significant issue in the tropical dry forest. And now these people will have water. And as we always say, water is life. Furthermore, we will be able to send those children to school with better homes and improved infrastructure.
Thank you. Now I'm going to talk about one project which is very important for us. It was like a very huge change in our life, right? So I'm going to talk about what happened in the 15th of March 2020. We all know what happened, right, in the world. I'm going to talk about like what was the situation in Colombia and in Latin America. So from one day to another, we had to close, and in there we didn't have any help from governments, right? So like from one day to another, we were like, okay, we have to close. What can we do? Most of the venues in Colombia and in South America and Latin America, they just fire their people, right? I said, okay, no. It's the most difficult part of the business and of this project, right? To build a team. And I was like very, very, very positive back in that time. And I said, okay, we always complain about we don't have time for education, let's do education. In Colombia, we were working 48 hours a week. So I said, okay, stay home, 48 hours of education for everybody. So we started 1 month awesome. 1 month I was still paying the salaries, 100% of the salaries. I was, what a stupid idea. I was still paying rent, whatever. And I said, after 1 month, I was so stressed. My family, they were living in France, and I had a call with them. I'm the last one of the 6 siblings. And I said, I'm so stressed. Like in France, it was, I think, 80% of the salaries were like covered by the government. In Colombia, 0. I said, I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. And one of my sister, I love her, but not. But not really, because she knows anything about, like she can teach you anything, even if she doesn't know. So she said, hey, take them to the farm. I said, what are you talking about? In Colombia, we couldn't cross the street. Every 10 days we could go out of the house to get some food every 10 days. So the farm is 1,000 kilometers away. No flight, no nothing, So no house. The house was a project for the future. And I was so pissed off. After 5 minutes, I said, it's so stupid. I called the guy who built one roof in at the farm a month before the pandemic. And I said, "You, can we transform this roof into a house for us?" He said, "Like in Colombia, they're really positive." I said, "Obviously, yes. In 1 month, okay, let's do it." I called my staff and I said, "Hey, 2 news. The first one is in 1 month, 15th of May 2020, I will have to stop paying the salaries. I'm so sorry." So I had people crying on Zoom because I saw their family. It's not 50, we were 55. It's not 55 person, it's 55 families. So I was, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But right now I'm paying you salaries. With your salary, you pay rent, you pay food, and you pay, I don't know, phone and Netflix. And I said, "Look, I'm so sorry, but if I stop paying you, I have plan B. The plan B is whoever in the team want, I take you with me to the farm and we create this project from zero. I take care of food, transportation, roof." And after a few days, like half of the team said yes, because it was a way to survive, right, the situation. So I'm going to show you a small video about what we did during the 4-5 months of the pandemic.
6:40 in the evening. This is the meeting point where we will depart for Finlandia. We hope everything goes well. We don't know what will happen on the road, but one can't help but feel that anxiety, to call it somehow.
It's time to leave the countryside, although deep down we all know the countryside will never leave us. Where are we going?
To the farm.
Here nothing has ended. On the contrary, the past 120 days only serve to start a wonderful project which everyone will be able to be a part of in the future. On May 15th, 22 people arrived at this adventure without the slightest idea about agriculture or life in the countryside. The farm technically produced nothing and needed a lot of work. That is without counting the immense responsibility of being part of the construction of our house. Today, as it is time to prepare to return very soon to the bar, the Alquimico farm has the following advancements. A roof where organic fertilizers are produced, since we do not use and will not use any type of chemicals in our practices. More than 5,000 coffee trees that had already completed their cycle were removed to make way for new crops intended for the bar, such as new coffee plants, citrus, fruit trees, and aromatic herbs. A beekeeping project that in a few months will be a source of organic honey for future cocktails on the menu, the construction of a sugar mill, and the planting of sugarcane for the production of panela and cane honey. A reforestation project that to date planted more than 4,000 native trees to help enrich the quality of the air and soil. A goat pen where we hope to have around 30 goats for the production of goat milk cheeses. A production center with all the necessary elements to transform raw materials and send them from Finlandia to Cartagena. Of course, none of these advancements would have relevance without all the people we met and with whom we created connections during this journey. Orlando, our foreman, a naturally hospitable person always ready to teach us. The Puentes family, Memo, Andres, and Santiago, people who love the countryside and possess enormous wisdom about it, helped us understand why the countryside is the future of our industry and also of our country. Juan and Gabriel, with whom we are building a brewing project that I am not going to tell you about yet. Jade, Alejandro, and Miguel, from the restaurant Helena Adentro, who tirelessly helped us find the best suppliers for our projects. Maria Fernanda and Cesar, pillars of community work in Quindío, who sparked our love and curiosity for cheese production. Ignacio and Diego from Apiarios del Café Juque, who advised us on everything related to our beekeeping project. Arturo from Florato, Colombia, who is currently in charge of the germination of our new 2,000 coffee trees. the mayor's office of Finlandia, led by Jaime, the town's mayor, whose programs greatly helped in our reforestation project. Edgar and his company, Peñartatis Tapa Peñarte, and his team, who led the construction of our home, also teaching us all the tasks related to this work. True magicians who in weeks managed to build a roof for us to live under on our farm. And of course, the entire Alquimico family, who with love and patience brought this project to fruition, which today is our pride. To those of you watching, thank you for joining us and being a part. And if there's something we learned and want to share with you, is that if we are able to support the productive level of our country more consistently, our industry will grow to unexplored levels. And what better time than now in the post-pandemic era to support the flow of money among our own people. See you very soon.
Gracias. I'm gonna end very fast. Sorry for the time I took. This is a picture of the farm where you are all invited, right? In the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful region of Colombia, the coffee region. It's like a 17 hectares farm. So when we produce right now like more than 100 different products, all organic, coffee as well. So I'm gonna end with this project, which is the next one we've been working on. We connected. Do you remember the guys of Aman? The music foundation. So we I think next week the construction of the school for the kids of Aman, where they get education through music of the foundation. We plan to. I heard a girl. So next time you come, I'll show you that. And I would like to say muchísimas gracias y nos vemos en Cartagena. Right.